Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. As promised, here's my recap of the BrickLink Designer Program Series 11. I can't believe we're already at the 11th version of this program. You have until May 25th, 2026 to vote for your favorite designs. And this time there have been 578 designs in total. And congratulations to every single one of you who submitted any of these designs. I will give you my own designs, my top 5, and my predictions for this series. So without further ado, let's get right into it. For my own submissions, there's the Awesome Space Tower. It's a fully enclosed, very tall tower that's about 1 meter tall. It has separable floors like a modular building, but also a removable side like the Avengers Tower. Has some very nice minifigures from Classic Space. And here's a look from a different angle, some floor plans. You might recognize some LEGO themes there, as well as a LEGO store under construction. There's a better look at the Classic Space logo at the top of the tower. So I hope that you'll support this submission with your loves. You can check out my dedicated video for each of these if you want. Next up, we have the teal and gold spaceship. So this has been fundamentally reworked since the last time I submitted it. It's been improved in many ways. Here's a look from the top. Here's a look from the rear, which has been completely redone. I'm using all these wings from LEGO Ninjago, and now there's also a side build of this mystical tree that has some secrets. See if you can find them. We have 5 minifigures in total, 2 of them in here and 3 on the outside. And here's a look at some of the interior details as well as the doors, all of which I added in this submission. Here's a look from the opposite angle. So we see lots of interesting Easter eggs here. Let me know in the comments if you spot them all. So again, please vote love it for this submission, and these links are going to be available in the description as well. Finally, there's the app development team, and it's the same submission as before, but this time instead of just working on the Natural History Museum application, they're also working on the LEGO Builder app. And we have 4 minifigures now instead of 3. So they work on both applications one at a time, and you could swap these out if you like, one or the other. They both fit in the same space, and here's a closer look at both of them. Lots of BrickLink for the museum, and some very nice LEGO prints for the LEGO Builder app. And here's a closer look at the minifigures. So yeah, again, please vote love it for this submission. And now for my top 5, drumroll please. We have the Hong Kong Old Town. When I first saw this set on my live stream, I was amazed. There's so much done, and it's not even using the full 4,000 pieces, and of course I love this set. You can display it in so many ways. It can be fully enclosed or have it open back as a long row. You can also have it as an L shape. It's very, very interesting. Just look from a variety of angles. You can angle the buildings like this if you want. So massive kudos to the designer for all the work and effort that they put into this one. So many fine details here. I can't go over them one by one, but you get the idea. Yeah, this opens up and there's a description of what exists on each floor, as well as some pictures to give you an idea. So very, very well done. It gives me modular building vibes, but it's more like Ninjago City because there's so much stuff going on. It's very busy, very interesting. So yeah, lots and lots of effort went into this, and I really hope that this becomes an actual LEGO set. Moving on. The next one is also from East Asia inspired. It's the Sakura Express by NOE_PRST. And by the way, to give credit to the designer of the Hong Kong Old Town, it is James B. But back to the Sakura Express. I've seen many trains in this program, but never something exactly like this. I love the shaping on the nose. It really makes sense to me. It's really hard to do these curved shapes with LEGO. Even with all the new pieces, it's hard to get them all to align together properly, but the designer was able to do that, so I really appreciate that. There's a full interior as well, and an authentic Japanese toilet. That's always nice. It is compatible with your standard LEGO track, although the powered up components have to be bought separately. There's a first class and front car with the driver cab and train office staff. And you can combine 2 sets to make a full 6-car consist. So when you buy 2 sets from BDP, as you're allowed to do, instead of buying one and selling the other, as many people have a habit of doing, you can buy both and actually build both for a change. And you have like a full 6-car train. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, I love this design. Some nice minifigures as well. And the designer actually built this set in real life. And I really appreciate that. And they're showing it on this curved track. So that's quite interesting to see. So again, I hope that this becomes an official LEGO set. Moving on, we have the Base Supply Depot by LEGO Maniac 343. This really brings back the classic space vibes of the 1980s, but using modern pieces and building techniques. It's a modular build, so you can move the components around if you like. There's a little bit of terrain as well, which I appreciate. We have this drone, this vehicle, a bunch of minifigures as well in the classic space teal and gold attires. Just look from the top. This just makes sense to me. It's really evocative of those early classic space sets. You see it here from a variety of angles. You can remove the roof to have access to the interior details here, so that's quite nice, and I do hope that LEGO will be able to print the Classic Space logo here instead of having it as a sticker, but we'll see about that. Moving on, we have the Sentinel Viper spaceship. This is also an amazing build. There's so many possibilities with this model, as you'll soon see. So even the stand, it's not just a boring black stand, you can actually put minifigures on it, and it's used for maintenance and stuff. You can put helmets there, you can have minifigures sitting there. It's just much more innovative. There's a lot going on here. Here we see it in space from a different angle. I love the shaping on this thing. It reminds me of some Star Wars vehicles. There's a bunch of details here, and it's fully modular, so you can actually reconfigure it in a variety of ways, as shown here. So you can actually remove the wings, move them around, move these things around. Lots and lots of effort that the designer Giorgio Kronos put into this. So I definitely hope that you will support this submission, not just my own submissions, but submissions by others that you appreciate. So lots and lots of different possibilities. There's 20 plus options. So I often say that LEGO needs to include multiple alternative builds in their sets. And I say the Creator 3-in-1 sets are a good example of that. Well, now we have 20 plus options. This is 20-in-1. We have not seen that since LEGO Dreams last year. It's quite rare to see. So this definitely needs to become an official LEGO set. So I'm very excited for this one. But let me know what you think in the comments about this and all the other sets. And my final set from the top 5 is the Toy Shop with a PE at the end by Rich Herbert. This is a very nice building as well. Also reminds me of the Lego modular buildings. We see here this very beautiful dense tree. We see a nice building with a clock at the top from the Tudor corner. Lots of minifigures as well at the front. On the inside, we see some Lego sets on sale. This dollhouse, it looks like it's from Lego Friends. Some shields from Medieval, some video games, lots of cool stuff. Pirate ship as well as the mech, possibly from Ninjago. And this car also could be from Ninjago as well, given the theme and design of it. We have a rocking horse that actually works. That's pretty cool. And just like a modular building, the floors are separable. We have 2 floors here that are usable. We have some pigeons. Here's a look from a different angle. And quite interestingly, the front can also be removed for easy access to the interior. So that's even better access than most modular buildings these days. That's a very nice solution by the designer. I see here some nice part usage, or like these bin pieces used in a dark blue color, just like with the Tudor corner. So yeah, very, very interesting choice here. I love this set. And I hope that it actually becomes produced. The only thing I would say is if they added a few more windows around the back, I think that would have made it a bit better, just to let some more light in. But that's something that you can easily modify in your own pieces. Here's a look at the repair shop on the inside. And a better look at the minifigure lineup, where I saw in one of the pictures that there's a classic space helmet included. Yeah, right here in the corner. So that's definitely a nice addition to the set. So before I give you my predictions for what I think will be produced this time, I'll give you honorable mentions. I'll try to do these as fast as possible. It was very hard for me to narrow these down from 500 something to, I didn't even like make this up. It's actually 67 honorable mentions. So we have Adventurers Guild, and for this one, I'll show the designer name here, but I'm not going to name them just for the sake of time. I'm not going to go through all the images, just the main image. But of course, if you like these submissions, please go check them out and support the designers. So without further ado, Adventurers Guild, Arctic Dock, Art Supply Store, Athena Books Pop-Up Store, which is designed by a YouTuber, by the way, Black Knights Citadel, Blaze Runner, Brick Street Printworks, BrickFit Recreation Center, I love all the transparency, Bricksburg Theater, Brixton High, Your Modern City School, Brickstone Courthouse, Bridge of Eras, Citadel of the Serpent, Classic Space Galaxy Interceptor, Classic Train, Compact Road Fun, and for this one, I'll give the designer credit for the presentation they have on the main page. So if you actually go to their submission, and you hover over it, you get to see the mechanisms. So the car does not move, but the mechanisms are shown there. So that's massive credit to Eric Munsters for that presentation. That's very beautiful. So yeah, it has some very interesting Technic features, and I do hope to see a Technic BrickLink Designer Program series set at some point. Cottage on a Hill is next. Countryside Farmhouse, Countryside Greenhouse, Crane on Track 3.0, Crimson Crown, Curse of the Yutacon, Cyberpunk City, Deep Forest Headquarters, Dinosaur Dig Site, and the selling feature of this particular set, in case it was not clear, is the footprint. So from the top, it looks like a dinosaur footprint, literally, which is quite interesting to see. Dragon Breath Bakery, I like the idea. Elven Citadel, European Steam Locomotive, Exoplanet Research Cruiser, Exoplanet Scout Ship, Falling Blossoms, Finnish Sauna in the Forest. I love the use of the transparent plates here. Really gives it a nice vibe that we could have never gotten before these pieces were introduced. Fishing with Friends, French 241 Mountain Locomotive, Galaxy Starship Carrier, and this is also a modular thing where you can actually remove the spaceships like this, so that's very interesting. Galley of Warriors, General Hospital, Graviton Nomad, Greek Riviera, reminds me of the Italian Riviera, looks very beautiful. High-speed train station, Legends of Rexstone, Medieval Village, Medieval Water Mill, Mediterranean Holidays, Pizza Delivery Spaceship. I love this set, it's just so much fun. Police Hybrid Supercar 1/10 scale. I love this set as well. It has lots of functions, it has a gearbox on BrickMe, I hope you're listening. Yeah, so many interesting functions in this one, so I would like to see something like this become an official LEGO set. Popcorn Bucket by Ashen Flash, the very famous YouTuber, and there's more to this build than meets the eye because there's actually a full theater in here. So it's quite nice to see, with like seats and stuff, movie theater actually representing Johnny Thunder on the inside, so that's quite cool to see. You would not see that just from the first image. Next up we have the Post Office, Ruby Comet, Space Scrappers, Subway Station Entrance. It's the first time I've seen something like this in my whole life, so I hope that this makes it as well. Surf Paradise, the Aurora, the Bakery, the Cartographer's Workshop. Lots of interesting details in this one. The Elements Run. This is a massive board game with minifigures. It looks to be Ninjago inspired, so that's always fun. The Spider's Lair. This one is also a very nice submission. Pretty creepy, but fun at the same time. I love all the details. Just real quick, we have a gold watch. We have this broken pencil. We have minifigures riding on insects. We even have some Lego pieces. In addition to the spider itself, we have this dandelion here. So many interesting details, and I hope you check out this submission. This is a great Halloween build. And then next up we have the Tetra Spacecraft, then the Tiny Home Adventure, Tiny Turbos Racing. I really wish this included minifigures. Upscaled Space Robot. Take that, upscaled Blue Astronaut without the minifigures. Well, this is what we want, like with the minifigures included. Underground Railway Station. This is kind of like a book nook, but also a working train. So I love the idea here. And you can actually power it up if you want. And you also have like the full subway station. So very interesting design execution. Definitely give credit to the designer for this one. So yeah, you can power it up and actually run it on standard track or display it as a book nook. Credit to the designer for that. Vintage Omnibus. That looks like a cute little set. Vintage Tea House. Whale Watching Voyage by Peace on Earth, who already has a successful submission. Winter Village School. We need more schools in LEGO. Wooden Train. I like the idea here. And finally, electric locomotives. And This one's actually called Femme Enceinte, or Pregnant Women, based on the front parts of them having this rounded shape. That's an interesting concept as well, and it reminds me of one of the LEGO sets from 2020. So now, for my predictions, we have the Viking longship. I do think this has a very good chance. We've seen pirates be very popular, ships are very popular, but the ships that won recently are very large. Not everyone is able to afford a ship that costs $400 or $500. For those of you who can, it's great. But for those of you who want something a bit more affordable, this makes a lot more sense. It has only 655 total parts, so I would expect it to be around 60 to 70 US dollars, maybe a little bit more, but not much more than that. Has some interesting minifigures, has all these shields, so I definitely think that this could be one of the finalists for the small sets for this wave. You also readjust the sails, so that's quite nice. Next, we have the Driftwood Keep. I'm predicting that this will be the big castle for the wave. It's very elegantly done. I love the color scheme. I love all the fine details that the designer added. It just makes a lot of sense. It has a presence to it. It can be displayed either closed like this, and here it is from a different angle, or you can also open it up to have full access to the interiors. So definitely very interesting. So many interesting details here. And I like how there's a color progression from dark gray to light gray, and then we have white and brown for the Tudor houses at the top. It's very nice. And there's water at the bottom, obviously, because it's a Viking-inspired thing. Yeah, lots of minifigures with this one, mostly from the Kraken Knights. Also have this small ship. So yeah, there you have it. That's the Driftwood Keep by Brickhammer. And then my other prediction is going to be Castle Talonstone. So it's probably going to be one or the other, not both of these castles. But this I also think has a strong chance of making it to the final submission, or the final series, because I've never seen a castle that's quite like this. We have like an archway and a whole castle built on top of it. Once again, we're maxing out the part count. This is by PK_. This one's just beautiful. I love the color scheme. There's so many interior details. It will not light up like this in real life unless you get a separate lighting kit that's sold separately. But I do like the idea that they have here. Lots of interesting details, so let's take a look. Yeah, it basically hinges. That's how the magic is achieved. But even in its closed form, it still looks pretty decent. It looks like it's violating the laws of physics because it's like jutting out right here. There's a working elevator. And yeah, let's take a look at some of the details. You have some animals included with a lot of the minifigures right here. Very cool lineup. And here's what it would look like at night in this simulated universe. So quite an interesting design and execution. I do think this has an excellent chance of becoming a future LEGO set. My fourth prediction is the Crimson Pagoda by The Forge. This one is very Ninjago coded, despite not being officially part of Ninjago. These things remind me of the golden weapons, the Wu's tea, the golden armor of the golden master, his first Ninjutsu master. This looks to be one of the ninja, and this looks like Master Wu. It's very similar. The resemblance is uncanny. And they're both having tea. I like how they did this whole Technic assembly without using any blue pins, at least not visible ones, so credit to the designer for that. Yeah, they're practicing fighting, or maybe they're actually fighting. Yeah, and from the top, it's clean. There's no unnecessary colors or anything like that. There's some nice part usage with the gear used here at the top. So again, Crimson Pagoda by The Forge looks like a very interesting submission. My final prediction is the Tranquil Market by BrickBites_. And it's a very cute market, again, East Asian inspired. I love the use of the chocolate frogs right here, or the telephone pole. That's very nice to see. It's a fully enclosed building, which is my preference. We also have access to the interior. You can move some things around. You can separate the floors. You have a working vending machine. Yeah, here's what it looks like from the back. Maybe you could have used a bit more detail, but not a big deal. You have something that looks like a sushi chef right there. And here are the minifigures. I like the helmet and hair combo. That's definitely a nice one to get. So yeah, the Tranquil Market is my final prediction for this series. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Did you submit any of these submissions right here? Did you want to submit but you didn't have time? Do let me know. Are there any other submissions that you think should have been selected? Let me know your top 5 submissions in the comments. Let me know what you think about my own submissions. And once again, they are the Awesome Space Tower, the Teal and Gold Spaceship, and the app development team, and the links are in the description. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in this recap video. There have been literally 500 something sets, and it's very hard to narrow it down to just a few. So sorry if I did not mention your submission in this recap, but congratulations if you even made it this far, and I hope that every one of you has a chance to make it to the finalist round. With that being said, I will end the video here. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.